Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of the money moves that shape our world. And today we're diving into Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated's latest report, and it looks like they're putting a lot of emphasis on investor relations. Imagine this a company basically saying, hey investors, look at this. We've posted something important on our website and we want you to know about it. That is the core of this filing. It is not about unveiling brand new financial disasters or triumphs, but more of a signal flare to the people who own a piece of the company. Before we dive in, if you like your corporate news with zero fluff and straight to the point analysis, make sure you are subscribed. Also, we have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down these filings further, so join us there. So what we have here is a current report, kind of like a quick update filing with the US Securities and Exchange Commission. The main event on the 10th of November 2025 is that Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated, or BW Enterprises Incorporated as we'll call them, posted an investor presentation on their website. Think of it as a company slideshow aimed at investors, probably explaining how things are going and what their plans are. This isn't a deep dive into quarterly financials in this specific report, but rather a notification that more detailed information is now available via that presentation, which is technically attached as an exhibit. Now, this filing does give us a snapshot of some of the company's financial instruments and what they are. For instance, they mention their common stock, which is what most people think of when they hear company shares, traded under the symbol BW on the New York Stock Exchange. But they also have some debt, specifically notes. We see 8.125% senior notes due 2026. These are like loans the company took out, and they promise to pay back the lenders with interest. There are also 6.50% senior notes due 2026, which are similar but with a different interest rate. And let's not forget their preferred stock, specifically the 7.75% series accumulative perpetual preferred stock. Also traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker BWPRA, these are a bit different from common stock, often having a fixed dividend payment. Essentially, this part of the report is just listing out the different kinds of investments and debts tied to Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated and the dates associated with them, all pointing to the 10th of November timeframe. The core of this filing is under this section, Regulation FD Disclosure. This is just a fancy way of saying that the company is making sure everyone has access to the same important information at the same time. So on the 10th of November 2025, they put up this investor presentation online. This is good practice because it prevents some investors from getting information before others, which could give them an unfair advantage. The presentation itself is included as an exhibit, meaning it is part of the official filing, but the information within it is considered to be furnished, not strictly filed, so it has a slightly different legal standing. This means that while it is public record, it does not automatically get incorporated into other legal documents unless the company specifically says so. It's like saying, here is some info, take a look, but we are not legally binding ourselves to its contents in every future document we file, unless we say so. So what is actually in that investor presentation? Well, this report doesn't detail it, but typically investor presentations for a company like Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated would cover their business performance, strategic initiatives, financial highlights, and future outlook. They might talk about their backlog of orders, their progress on key projects, and how they are addressing market challenges. For a company in the industrial sector, especially one involved in power generation and environmental technologies, this could include updates on new contracts, technological advancements, and their efforts in areas like renewable energy or emissions control. This next item is about the digital formatting of the documents. Essentially, this part ensures that the report is available in a machine-readable format called inline XBRL. This is really important for investors and analysts because it makes it much easier to pull out and analyze the financial data programmatically. So instead of manually sifting through pages and pages, software can quickly extract key numbers like revenue, profit, debt, and so on. This is vital for understanding the company's financial health accurately and efficiently. It's like having a digital key to unlock all the important numbers in a structured way. Now, let's put on our Warren Buffett hat for a moment based on this filing. What is the story? This isn't a financial statement itself, so we don't have the juicy numbers like exact revenue or profit figures directly in the main body of the 8. What we have is a notification that an investor presentation with those details exists. The fact that they're directing investors to a presentation suggests they want to control the narrative and present their information in a curated way. It signals that they have updates they want to share and likely believe these updates are positive or at least warrant specific explanation. Without seeing the presentation itself, we can only infer. The presence of various senior notes suggests the company uses debt financing to fund its operations and growth, which is common. The different interest rates and maturity dates indicate a strategy for managing its liabilities over time. Preferred stock also represents another layer of capital structure, often used to raise funds without diluting common shareholder ownership. But here is the crucial part. This 8K is a bit like getting an invitation to a party, but the invitation doesn't tell you what food is being served. It tells you the party is happening and maybe who is hosting and what time it starts. The real substance, the financial story, is in that investor presentation. If that presentation shows strong order backlogs, successful project execution, or a healthy balance sheet, then Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated is likely in a good spot. If it highlights challenges, increased debt servicing costs, or a slowing market, investors will need to pay close attention to the details. The key takeaway here is BW Enterprises Incorporated is actively communicating with its investors, which is generally a good sign of transparency. However, the true health and direction of the company will be revealed within the contents of that investor presentation they posted. So, what is my take on this filing? This report is more of a signpost than a detailed map. It tells us that Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated is prioritizing communication with its stakeholders by posting an investor presentation. This suggests they have something they want to highlight and likely believe it to be positive. The mention of various debt instruments and preferred stock shows a typical corporate capital structure, but without the actual numbers from the presentation, it is hard to assess their financial strength or weakness definitively. The biggest risk here is that investors might assume a positive outlook based on the posting of a presentation, when the reality within the presentation could be more nuanced or even challenging. The opportunity lies in the fact that this presentation could indeed showcase strong performance or a clear, compelling strategy for future growth. Ultimately, this filing serves as a prompt for investors to go and review the presentation. The company's direction is therefore tied to whatever narrative and financial data are presented there. A strong presentation could boost investor confidence, while a weak one could raise concerns. Alright? That is our quick decode of this Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises Incorporated filing. What is your take on companies using these types of reports to direct attention to other materials? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown useful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into corporate filings. And don't forget to join our Discord community for deeper discussions. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next decode.